what I found.
You know, they
Found
found the temple of the first emperor of China. I think they found it in 1974. This is from they buried him 2,200 years ago, and they protected him with terracotta statues of soldiers. You ever seen this?
No.
And they're terrified to go into the tomb because there's all these writings about it having rivers of mercury and booby trapped, and
really,
and it's supposed to be like unbelievable riches, but they're so concerned, like trying to send a scientist through there and trying to open it up and find out what would happen. I mean, even 2,200 years later, that there literally might be rivers of mercury.
That's pretty wild.
Some fucking Indiana Jones shit.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen what it looks like?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, it's insane. I believe they found it in 74-ish, somewhere around then.
Okay.
And this is the very first emperor of China. And as they uncovered more and more and more, they found a literal army. I don't know what the number of these terracotta statues of soldiers, but it's fucking insane.
Wow.
And this is all lined up in front of his tomb. How many of them were there? So find the first emperor. Find the tomb of the first emperor of China.
8,000 soldiers, 130 chariots, 520 horses.
150 cavalry horses, the majority of which remain in situ in the pits near, I don't know how to say that, King Shi Huang's mausoleum. Other non-military terracotta figures were found in other pits, including officials, acrobats, strongmen, and musicians.
Dude, you think about how much effort it would have taken to make all of that 2,000 years ago?
Here it is. 100 flowing rivers were simulated using mercury, and above them the ceiling was decorated with heavenly bodies, below which lay the features of the land. Some translations of this passage refer to models or imitations. However, those words were not used in the original text, which also makes no mention of the terracotta army. High levels of mercury were found in the soil of the tomb mound, giving credence to, I don't know how to say his name, Simi Quan's account. Also, the emperor is well documented for building monumental statues in human form during his reign, such as the 12 metal colossi. What is that? Click on that. 12 metal colossi. What is that?
12 meters high.
Oh.
Let's find a picture.
Why do they call it 12 metal? 12 metal colossis.
12 bronze statues cast. Let's see.
Is there photos of these things?
It's not there.
But how crazy is that? There is high levels of mercury in the soil, and they're really concerned that if they open up a door, rivers of mercury will flow out and kill everybody. Like, how much mercury did they get? Where'd you get all that mercury?
Why were you storing all that mercury down there?
How did you store all that mercury? How'd you know that it would fucking stay there and not kill everybody? How did you get it there? Yeah. How many people died moving it there?
Yeah, there's
rivers of mercury. See, like you would say ordinarily, that's nonsense. But the amount of dedication they had towards their emperor, that they were building this after
and
he
the
was
fact
dead.
that the soil tested high in mercury, those two combined does make it enough where, like, I'm not opening it up.
Jesus Christ.
I'd like someone else to do it and bring a video camera, but I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, can't we send some robots to open that up? But imagine if it just flows out. Like, that would be so wild. Get some GoPro footage of rivers of 2,200-year-old mercury.
Yeah, that would be pretty nuts.
Like, how much would it take to do that? Like, how much mercury would you need? Like, what are we talking about? Where's mercury come from?
How
do you even get it?
I have no answer for you on how this possibly could be true.
How do you get mercury? Like, if you want to get mercury for a thermometer, where are you getting that?
I don't know.
I've never even thought of it.
Yeah, me
Not
neither.
until right now. I never even thought, where could one get mercury?
Well, you know who thought a lot about it? Chinese people. They put a lot of thought into it.
I guess the fuck they did. If they have rivers of mercury waiting to kill you if you open up the tomb. Mercury occurs naturally in the Earth's crust. It's released into the environment from volcanic activity, weathering of rocks, and as a result of human activity. So how would you produce mercury? How do you refine it? It's a naturally occurring chemical element found in rock in the Earth's crust. So they figured this out 2,000 years ago, how to refine this? What did they do? Like, how did they refine it? Like, how did they get it to the point where there's so much of it, you have rivers of it?
That Cinnabar stuff came up before when we were looking at stuff. I think Maybe with primer or escu.
An ore in combination with cinnabar. It tends to be found in high concentration in geographic.
Grinding cinnabar.
Wow.
I know they used it for red, like anything red back forever was.
Imagine if that's your job and you know it's going to kill you. You have to make mercury for the emperor's temple to set up a booby trap. So you're out there just making mercury all day, just dying.
I bet
then
those people have
shuffle
pride in their job.
new
They're
people. You
like,
think
hey,
so?
someone's got to make the emperor's mercury. You know, I'm out here doing it.
I wonder.
And you needed mercury to get gold.
Oh, wow. How's that?
I'm looking at something that says cinnabar is a mineral from which mercury is extracted. Both are highly toxic. Few countries still permit cinnabar mercury mining. Mercury was very important in gold mining. So
They had a lot of gold back then, right? Didn't they?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's when they were starting.
So
to
that's probably a side effect of their gold mining, is that they had all this mercury? Does that make sense?
I don't know.
How are you getting rivers of it?
Yeah,
Like,
the
what is
rivers of it don't really make sense to me. But that also may not be true.
What is well, it might be true though.
That's
If there's high levels of mercury
Yeah,
in the
no,
soil.
that is. I will say that gives you a little bit of pause.
Yeah.
One thing I've heard that it hasn't come up a lot is like when there's all those puddles on the ground. If not puddles, are just like reservoirs of water to look at the stars. It's easier to look down than to look up all night. So they would make something reflective to show the stars coming over in certain patterns and whatnot. Mercury is also highly reflective. So if they had
Puddles of
pools of
mercury that they would
mercury.
use for like mirrors to look
Yeah.
at the stars. Wow. Yeah, maybe.
But so the
They had
amount
to
of
know it
effort,
kills you.
theoretically, to collect all this mercury, rivers of it,
Yeah.
and store it in there for what purpose?
Booby trap.
Just so that you couldn't come in?
So if someone comes in, they get flooded with mercury and they never get to the emperor's riches.
Okay.
Apparently, there's fucking a gajillion dollars worth of shit in there.
Ooh, all right. See, now you made it a little bit more interesting. Okay, I didn't realize that's what they were keeping you from. So now, are you going to roll the dice on the rivers of mercury for
Roll
a
the
jillion
dice,
dollars?
pussies. Come on.
like,
Get a
dude.
hazmat suit and a fucking scuba. Let's go. Don't they have those fucking DARPA robots? Get one of them DARPA robots to lift off the lid.
Yeah, I can't believe you couldn't like figure something out. Yeah,
Get
like
the
one of those
DARPA robot.
those like the bomb, robots. You see them sometimes in like Times Square or something like that.
But if it's really river, then you're going to lose all the terracotta statues, which are like a national treasure.
Well, you want to roll the dice on more treasure? You got to
Maybe-
risk some statues.
Maybe you have to move the statues.